People everywhere are starting to listen to him. He's going on French, British, Italian, Japanese television.
This is the Wide World of Weingarten.
Wide World of Weingarten, Monday, June 13th. It's about 11 a.m. here in Los Angeles. Pretty fun sports weekend. I would have preferred the Celtics won the fourth game? Yeah, fourth game of the finals. I would have preferred Celtics end up with a 3-1 lead instead of going back tied 2-2. But what can you do? Golf was all right. There was a lot of it. The Scandinavian mixed event on the Euro Tour, Lynn Grant won that. Really lapped the field, won by like 5-7 shots or something. I had one guy kind of outside chance of winning on Sunday morning, Nicholas Nogard-Moller. He was like 33-1, maybe 50-1 going into the final round. So, had a shot, not a huge one or anything. Didn't even have to really wake up and worry about it. She just, beat the hell out of everybody. Like I said, the Scandinavian mixed event where they combine the men and the women's field into one event and one purse, 2 sets of tees, obviously. Very, very impressed with it. I'd really like to see that on the PGA Tour. I'd like to see a PGA LPGA co-event. Maybe we'll get that in the future with the PGA being forced to be slightly more proactive now due to the Saudis and the Saudi Golf League, which had their first event in London, or more accurately outside of London, this last week. It was a 54-hole event. Charles Schwartzel won. My thoughts on the event overall, I watched a little bit of the first round on YouTube. I didn't watch any more of it, but I did try to follow it. They seem to have some problems getting a live leaderboard out in a timely fashion, which kind of sucked. As far as betting goes, I did see live betting on it, and I thought it was fairly soft. I didn't actually bet anything. I did observe a little bit in the second and third round just because I wanted to see how the favorite was trading. In this case, it was Charles Schwartzel. He basically wasn't really ever in a position to lose down the stretch. Duplessis got second. Hennie Duplessis. He didn't really make a major push, anything that Charles had to be threatened by. So it was interesting to watch the live odds trade, maybe just to get an indication of how it'll work when they play the second event in Portland in a couple weeks. And I mean, overall, there were people calling it an exhibition, which I guess is kind of accurate. It was a very, very high stakes affair, if you want to call it that. Charles won $4 million. Duplessis, went from winning $40,000 on the Sunshine Tour to $2 million, getting a second place. So that's definitely life-changing, and you can play a lot of golf. You play a lot of different, golf. Different places you could apply and buy into qualifiers and everything. When you have money like that, it really ups the flexibility. So there's all sorts of trade-offs, I guess, with this sort of Saudi tour stuff, and people really want to get on their high horses and say that taking the money is bad. But I mean, just going through the names, the people who have announced that they're joining, not just the first event, but since the first event. I mean, you take Kevin Na, Bryson DeChambeau, Patrick Reed. I'm trying to think, there's one other guy I'm not remembering, but you're basically taking my least favorite players on the PGA Tour, and they're all leaving to go play another tour. So doing me a huge favor personally. I don't see any of this as a negative. So instead of one tournament to bet on, now I get 2 tournaments to bet on. All my least favorite players are now off the PGA Tour and playing in another tournament, which I could still bet on and root against them. And now I get to see more players that I actually want to see on the PGA Tour, while all the shitbags I don't like play for the Saudi League. So again, I don't see any huge negative here. Like, more betting is typically better than less betting. I'm always in favor of more odds being posted on more tours. Like I say, betting somebody at 50 to 1 on the Saudi tour or on the LPGA or the PGA or the Corn Ferry, it all pays 50 to 1, pays the same. So, golf is golf to me from a betting standpoint. The Canadian Open, I thought the interview with Jay Moynihan, the PGA commissioner on CBS on Sunday, was a little cringy. I don't know. I could say a lot of negative things about it, but easier just to say one negative thing about it. I thought it was really unnecessary for him to bring up the 9/11 families and 9/11 as one of the reasons why the players should be ashamed of themselves for jumping to this new tour. I thought that was really uncalled for. It was a very rehearsed interview. Still did an awful job, even knowing what questions were coming, and it's pretty clear the PGA doesn't have much to stand on other than Saudi's bad. Framing themselves as the good guy, which I think is kind of weird. Rory won at short odds. I think he was like 11 to 1, and he took some pot shots at the Saudis, which is to me just hilarious because he still unironically takes appearance fees to play events in the UAE and the winner. So I mean, I just think golf is full of hypocrites and at every level. It's just a game. Like, I don't care. I just want to bet on it. I think this is all just a waste of time. But it's U.S. Open week. Pretty interesting. Again, just even though I say it's all a waste of time, they're all going to have to confront this week. Phil Mickelson, Dustin Johnson, all those guys are playing in the U.S. Open, and they're already getting questions. I saw some this morning. Nothing interesting so far, but they're all going to have to answer questions from the media all week, and so are the PGA players. So I'm sure we'll get plenty of headlines in golf this week. But as far as betting goes, just on the first quick look through on Monday morning, I bet some Dustin Johnson at 40 to 1. Like I said, I haven't dug in too deep yet. I don't think this is going to be an event where I take a lot of long shots, probably 2-3 guys max, including Dustin Johnson, but I thought 40 to 1, totally reasonable to start the week. DJ's form hasn't been great lately, but he looked fine. Like, he played well enough in if you want to call it a glorified exhibition this weekend, and you never know. He's a very elite golfer, and he can always show up and really, do some big things. So I thought 40 to 1 is probably the highest I'm going to see all week, so I'll bet a little bit on it just to get the week started. But baseball is really the big thing going on right now for me still. Daily, there's so much going on with baseball. Some days I just I want to not do any baseball, but it's just nonstop. Dodgers, they're in a bit of trouble pitching wise, trying to kind of piece together a pitching staff again, and that's one of the things I talk about at the beginning of the year. You look at the projections and you say, oh, well, look at this Dodgers rotation. It's 8 deep with David Price, is the ace starter, and you look at the Mets and you say DeGrom and Scherzer, how is anyone going to beat that? And here we are in June, middle of June almost, and Jacob DeGrom's not pitching, Max Scherzer's not pitching. Clayton Kershaw just came back through 70 pitches. Walker Buehler, he will be lucky to see him again before the end of the season. And the Dodgers right now, they're trying to get by with Tyler Anderson, Tony Gonsolin, who has become a dark horse Cy Young candidate, and Andrew Heaney, who's coming back from a rehab. Should be up in a time or two through the rotation. Then they got Clayton Kershaw and Michael Grove, who honestly wasn't even on my list of Dodgers potential pitching guys this year. And Dustin May is coming back from Tommy John. He won't be ready for a full workload before the end of the year. It's just, obviously the Dodgers will be in on Luis Castillo and Sonny Gray if he's available, and any other pitchers that pop up in the trade market this year. Anybody, Frankie Montas even, who I think they once actually acquired and immediately traded. Wouldn't surprise me to see them make any deals for one or two starting pitchers because they just don't have the depth that they need to compete for a World Series right now, and that's why I'm adding a little bit to the Padres to win the NL West at plus 275. It's available at the different Canby books, Barstool, Bet Rivers, Sugar House. I think there's one or two others. I just refer to those as the Canby books, but Padres plus 275 to win the NL West. Not too far off from where I played Padres before the season. I think I played plus 325 there. So just adding a little bit more, I think I like my position with Mookie Betts. I still like the Dodgers to win the pennant at the price I got earlier, 2.5 to 1 or whatever. But I could see them not winning the division again. They're going to have to probably make some trades down the line. But, yeah, I could see them losing the division for the second year in a row. This time I think the Padres might take it. So that's what I got there. Gonna take a quick break real quick. Then I'm going to come back, talk about the player future races, and can give some bets for Monday. So stay tuned for that. Welcome back. Second half, Wide World of Weingarten. Going to go through some of the player futures, the player future races. The first one, NL Rookie of the Year. I think the top hitters right now are Nolan Gorman, Alec Thomas, Michael Harris, Juan Yepes, Chris Morrill, Jack Suwinski on the Pirates. I don't actually think he's going to win. And Bryson Stott. Couple people have messaged me the last couple weeks and they're like, don't sleep on Stott. Stott's good, this or that. And I really wasn't paying attention. Probably should, I guess. I think he was 120 to 1, 100 to 1. Those numbers have been cut in half. He's 60 at the Westgate, 80 to 1 still at Canby. But I expect those numbers to come down significantly in the next week or two if he continues to play well. He has 4 home runs the last 2 weeks, leading rookies and runs, hits. No, not hits, runs, home runs, RBIs. I think Chris Morrill's leading NL rookies in most hits last 2 weeks. He's also an interesting bet at 40, 50 to 1. I think this is still a really wide open race. You know, I don't have any money on Alec Thomas or Juan Yepes. Those are kind of guys that, like, if they're going to win, they're going to win. Gorman, Harris. I got Gorman 50, Harris 85, Morrill 50, Stott 100. Happy with all those right now. Obviously, Mackenzie Gore is still probably the leader. He just got lit up, gave up 6 runs, 6 earned runs against the Rockies this weekend. It's to be expected. Nobody goes through their career not getting lit up once. He's pitching so well that bad start was due. Question is, does he bounce back? Does he compound it? If he has a 6 innings shutout this next start, then he's gonna retain the front runner. If he gives up 4 earned runs in 4 innings, with 4 strikeouts, 5 strikeouts, whatever, gonna see him fall a lot more and see him fall pretty fast if he doesn't have a good start next time out. So very interesting to see what the Padres do, especially because I think they're gonna have to kind of play some games to get him to the end of the season with innings, especially if they plan on having him contribute in the postseason. So then you kind of get into this, what's more important, having him available in the postseason or having him win Rookie of the Year, individual versus team success sort of stuff. So a lot going on in this race. I think a lot of hitters are live. Gorman, Harris, Morrill, Stott, guys I currently have the most exposure to. In the AL race, obviously this is the Julio Rodriguez segment of this show. Last 2 weeks he has 11 hits, 7 runs, 2 home runs, 6 RBIs, 3 stolen bases, a 322 OBP. He's very good. He's batting third most days for the Mariners. He's one of my favorite players. I very much expect him to win this award at the moment. Except Jeremy Pena is keeping up with him. Last 2 weeks, he also has 5 hits, 5 runs, 2 home runs, 5 RBIs, 3 stolen bases, 294 OBP, which is not very good. but currently one of the highest WARs of any shortstop in MLB, not just rookies in general. I don't think he's better than Julio. I don't think voters are gonna think he's better than Julio. It wouldn't surprise me, like, if the vote was right now, that it would not be a runaway. I think that Jeremy Pena would absolutely get first place votes at the moment. I just think Julio would get more. I also think Bobby Witt Jr. would get a couple first place votes that would probably push Julio over the edge. Witt, especially the last 2 weeks, he's playing as well, if not better than both these guys. He has 12 hits, 11 runs, 2 home runs, 6 RBIs, 3 stolen bases, and he finally pushed that OBP over 300, 316. So he's really right up there. You could start making arguments. You could start making arguments. Any of these guys really deserve first place votes, but a lot of time left for somebody to really push out and secure the AL Rookie of the Year. I do think Julio Rodriguez, though, is going to be the guy that wins in the end. If a pitcher is to make any noise in this race, I don't think I couldn't tell you who it's going to be at this point. Joe Ryan is kind of missing in action in Minnesota. Grayson Rodriguez was set to get called up and then hurt himself and is out for the rest of the season. We won't see him till next year. Probably won't get some good numbers on him anymore in the 2023 pool, I guess. But that's a long way off at this point. And then Shane Boz, I think it's Shane Boz, got called up. He was hurt, started the year injured for the Rays. He gave up 5 runs, and Rays lost to the Twins on Saturday. That game cost me money, a lot of money actually. So he already starts in the hole. I think he has the potential to contend, but I'm not sure we're going to see enough innings from Boz to really be a guy this year, but he's a future potential ace kind of dude. Then got the AL MVP, obviously. Aaron Judge doing his thing. He's the leader now. I can't argue against that with 25 home runs or whatever he's doing. There's some arguments to be made that, Yordan Alvarez is a better overall player than him. The Astros are a better overall team than the Yankees. Yeah, whatever. This will play itself out. Similar to the market right now, the Ohtani futures price is crashing, just like crypto and the stock exchange, and just everything's going down. I'm not particularly worried about Ohtani, though. I think got a day off on Sunday, gets a day off on Monday. He'll be back in the lineup ready to do his thing this week. He'll hopefully put another good pitching start out there this week, and we can start discussing his pitching numbers in context with the other Cy Young favorites, whatever. But really, it's all on Ohtani here to put up some better numbers than he's putting up right now and get himself back in the race. I think this losing streak right now with the Angels, just 14 in a row, and I think like 2-16 or something in the last three plus weeks are just real bad. Ohtani's MVP chances are really going to hinge on the Angels making a playoff run and probably making the playoffs. Trout, I think, is the guy who got hurt the most, being injured, having a 2-week slump, having a 33% strikeout rate or whatever. And then obviously, he has some really good games, and he's Mike Trout, and he's always going to be Mike Trout. But I think he's the guy who needs to see his price drift out more as opposed to Ohtani's. I think, really only going to be 1 or 2 more good pitching starts, and we can, start arguing Ohtani versus Judge, whatever. But yeah, obviously right now can't dispute that if the season ended today, Judge would be getting most of the first place MVP votes. The good thing is the season does not end today, so we just keep going. Far as bets for Monday, I got 2 futures. I mentioned Dustin Johnson to win the U.S. Open 40-1, and then the Celtics series price. I don't know who's going to win Game 5, 6, whatever. I'm just happy to take Celtics series price here, plus 115, plus 120. Got money on both of those numbers today. I laid minus 110 earlier, I think before Game 1. So I'm just adding to a position I already have with the Celtics, basically going down with the ship, as they say. I don't really have any insight as to why the Celtics or the Warriors are better. I just think, Warriors are old. I don't bet on old guys unless it's Tom Brady. Baseball for today, I got the Marlins first inning. Yes, I bet plus 120. You should see some good yes prices pop up later in the day. I plan on coming back and doing some more shopping about an hour, 30 minutes before the game. I think I can get some more 120s, maybe even a plus 130 if we're lucky. I also bet the Marlins hits, runs, errors line under 25. I got under 25 plus 100. I'd play it under 25 up to minus 120. I just happen to get the best number. That's what I do. As far as money lines go, I bet the Reds plus 135 and the Tigers plus 118. Don't really like watching both of those teams or either of those teams, so I don't really recommend watching any Reds or Tigers games at this point. But plus 135, plus 118, both playable numbers. Just check the scores every hour till it's over. And I'll be back tomorrow. I gotta go through some golf stuff, figure out what I want to do some more with the U.S. Open. But Dustin Johnson 40-1, how I started my week with golf futures. So thanks for listening. I will be back with more.